Hello, everyone. You know what's funny when I think about the things that I want to say on my live before I get on here, and then I get on here, and it's like I totally forget what I want to say completely. So while I rethink about that, I'm going to switch so that the view behind me is a little bit more festive. Let me see if this works better over here. Oh, that's nicer. Look at that. That's nice. Well, you still can't see the anyway. All right. Hi. Good morning, everybody. Let me take my glasses off for right now. So, hi. Good morning. It's Davy Maisha coming to you live and direct from an undisclosed location. So, fear to anger to forgiveness to love. I am out of town right now. My ex-husband had a medical situation, and I came down to assist. Now, for some of you who've heard my story or know my story, it would be like, what the hell? For some of you who have been divorced, might be like, what the hell? Or for some of you who have an ex that you guys have just been through some shit, you might be like, what the hell? I was married for, we were together for 14 years and technically married for a few more years than that. And then the divorce was final. We went through a rocky road. I was real deep in my victim. I would tell anyone who would listen all the things that he did wrong. I created a wonderful persona for myself of the victim, and people rallied around me, justifiably so, based on the things that I had said. He went through his own anger and anguish. He triggered some things in me. I triggered some things in him. And for a while, it was just very ugly. Of course, wishing I could, there's some regret there. And I've learned a lot from that experience, right? So there was fear on the onset, right? Hey, good morning. There was fear on the onset, right? Fear of me leaving, fear of me staying. Then there was anger. I was angry at him. It was his fault I had to leave. It was his fault the marriage didn't work out. And I went through all of that. I was angry at me for the decisions I made. And then I came to a place of forgiveness. I was able to forgive him easier than I could forgive myself. So I was able to forgive him for the things that we had gone through, to see and understand what shaped him, what made him into the man that he became, right? Good morning. Hey, Akar Elbe. How are you, handsome? To see what created the man that was before me. And then I had to work on forgiving myself and to understand what created the woman that I had become, what circumstances, right? And so then I had to work through a path of forgiveness. And that brought me to a place of love. I love my ex-husband. I'm always going to love my ex-husband. We have 4 children together. We raised 5. How can I not love him? And oftentimes when we love someone and we feel disappointed in romantic relationships, when we love them and we feel disappointed that it didn't work out with the story that we'd concocted in our brain, then we're angry, right? Because we created a fictionalized version of the relationship, and then we expected the real people to live up to the script that we had created in our minds. And when they don't, then we have anger and we have disappointment and we have upsetness. I'm great. I'm knowing the same. Thank you. And so that's what causes part of the problem, right? We're with someone, and we're with someone based on our idea, really, of what we think the relationship should be or what should be happening. Very rarely do people sit down and create their relationship. Here's what I'm bringing. Here's what you're bringing. Here's what we would like to have happen. Very rarely do people come up with, codes of conduct or rules of honor or things like that for their relationship. A family crest type of thing where this is our family motto. This is what we believe. This is what our family stands for, right? We don't usually do that. Ironically, my ex-husband and I did. We had a whole book with these family rules and laws that we had that we wanted our children to uphold. And interestingly enough, for the most part, it seems to have been the case that they have. But so we go into the relationship with a script in our mind. This person is going to fulfill this role, and the other person saying this person is going to fulfill this role. And sometimes those roles end up matching, yes, and oftentimes they don't. And that's where we're looking and saying, I don't know if this is the person for me. This marriage isn't working out. It's their fault. They did X, Y, and Z to me, and so now we cannot be together. And sometimes it's very important to split because it's really unhealthy. It's just really unhealthy. The stories that each of you are playing out are not, they're toxic. And so I came to a place, I have come to a place where I can tell my ex-husband, I love you, because I do. And it doesn't mean that the marriage that was will be. What it means is that I can come to him in his time of need and support him. And ironically, in doing so, ended up receiving monetary blessings that I wasn't expecting from sources that I wasn't looking to get them from. And not that that's a reason to do anything. It reminds me that the universe always provides. And so this trip that I'm on has actually cost me nothing. So I've paid for nothing in being here to support someone who needed support. So I'm trying to move my text message out of the way. So all of this ties into alchemy. Well, what is alchemy? Alchemy is changing. Alchemy was it was a way that metalsmiths would take precious metals and turn them into gold, right? So that was like the process of alchemy. You would take a metal and spin it into gold. So when we talk about alchemy in terms of our spiritual selves, when we talk about alchemy in terms of our self and our soul, we're talking about taking experiences that we have had and turning them into gold. We're talking about taking fear and anger and hurt and regret and spinning that into the beauty that it is, because none of us were put here on this earth to live in fear and anger and regret. That's not the purpose of us being here. The purpose of us being here is to experience and live in joy and bliss. And that is possible no matter what you've gone through, no matter what you've experienced. It is possible to create a life of joy and bliss. If you've lost a loved one, there's something in that for you. If you've been through a horrible breakup, there's something in that for you. If you've lost a job, there's something in that for you. If you've been homeless, there's something in that for you. If you've experienced sexual trauma, there's something in that for you. It is not that you need to stay in those spaces of being the victim. You don't need to stay in those spaces of sorrow and I wish my life could have been, and my life should have been, and this is the path that my life was supposed to take. Those types of thoughts keep us stuck and don't allow us to experience true happiness. Those type of thoughts keep us afraid and don't allow us to experience the fullness of what bliss is. And that's why you're here. And so I've learned to alchemize my pain, my sorrow, my regret, And sometimes it takes days, and sometimes it takes hours, and sometimes my hair looks crazy because I had to bring a comb and a brush with me. Yay for the puff. Um, but that's what I want for you. I want you to be able to alchemize the events that happen in your life. It's like you take them and you turn them into something different. You just kind of dance through it. You flow through it, you know? And for women, that's actually easier for us than it is for men because we're fluid. But men, you can do it too. You can alchemize through it. Warriors would do it when they would do their hakas or their warrior dances. Men danced. They didn't die, but they danced. We can all go through that pain. So I took a relationship that on the outset had some pain attached to it, and I alchemized it from the fear to the anger, right, to forgiveness to love. And so now I can be here, and I've been here for, this is my third day, third day. I came down here Wednesday, I think. I can be here with this man, and I can support him because I love him. And I can say that because it's true. And that's what I want for you. Alchemy. I want you to be able to transmute and change the energy of the experiences that you've had so that they bring you joy and bliss. And this is not the same as pretending like things didn't happen. People get caught up in that. It's like, this thing happened to me. I'm going to act like it didn't happen and I'm just going to smile. No, you got to go through it. You got to go through it, but you got to go through it. And don't stay stuck in it. Go through it. If you're interested in learning about how I've alchemized a relationship that was toxic, that was all these other things that I don't even carry that story with me anymore. But it's on there. It's on my Facebook if you feel like, stalking me and perusing back. If you're interested in alchemizing the things that have happened to you, if you're interested in learning how to shift your perspective to get out of that icky spot that you're in that is holding you back, then I invite you to join Solstice Alchemy. And I will teach you the things that have helped me to release the idea of being a victim and release the idea of the woe is me and release the idea of what I can't do and what I'm not capable of and what's not for me. And I still work through those things sometimes, but far less and for far shorter periods of time, because it's always a process, right? There's no perfection in this. But I can tell you from where I am now, from where I was 5 years ago to where I am now, is completely different. If you're interested in learning that, if you're interested in taking yourself to a higher level, I invite you to join Solstice Alchemy. The investment is $22.11. That's it. Cost of lunch in New York City, sadly. The huge investment is your time. This program is going for 40 days. 40 is a transformational number. If you're religious, you understand the significance of the number 40, right? 40 days in the desert, yada, yada. The number 40 is transitional for us as human beings. It almost kind of denotes this midlife point. Many of us come to realizations between 39, 40, 41. 40 is a number of trials. It's a number of transformation. The investment is the time. That's the scarier part. You must commit to 40 days of transmuting yourself. It will take you through. We're going through. There's no bypassing. But on the other side of that, what? Is the joy and the bliss. Is the confidence. Is the abundance. is the fucking pleasure. So I'm going to go get breakfast right now while I wait for him to come back. But I invite you to join Solstice Alchemy. How do you do that? The link for it, the short link, and I'll put it in the description, is bit.ly/solstice alchemy, and solstice is spelled SOUL because we're working on a soul. SOUL, solstice alchemy. We're doing this. We're starting around the solstice. We're starting with the full moon energy. Crazy, right? Not the new moon, but the full moon. I got some shit for y'all. I'll put the link in, but I invite you to join me. Find the bliss that's on the other side of that breakup, that loss, that regret. Don't stay stuck. There's so much more waiting for you on the other side. Enjoy your day. Happy Friday.